Vedanta Swami, Savior of the world, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Nitya Lila Vishnu Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivichakacharsto Tadasata Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, Param Guru, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Iskcon BBT founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Please go Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopana Shama Kunda Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki. Shri Navadvi Mayapur Dham ki. Shri Govardhan ki jai. Jagannath Kshetra Dham ki jai. Shri Gangamai Yamunamai ki jai. Bhakti Devi Srimati Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Sankirtan Jagya ki jai. Sunday Love Feast ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. So I would like to introduce our very special guest today. Before I do that, I would ask each and every one of you, if you have your cell phones with you, which many of you do, please put it in a silent mode, turn it off. And if you are socializing within the temple room here, please discontinue doing so. His Holiness Bhakti Prabhupada Vrata Damodar Swami, affectionately known as Damodar Maharaj, first met Srila Prabhupada in 1966 in New York City. He took initiation from Srila Prabhupada in 76 and he accepted sannyas in 2013. Maharaj has worked very hard from the 90s to 2000 to re-establish Iskcon in Colombia and South America. Maharaj spent a couple of years in 2001 to Alachua, Florida, and in 2002 through present time, Maharaj has taught Bhakti Shastri course in Vrindavan. I've been traveling and preaching, including visits in New York City, Miami, Alachua, Colombia, Venezuela, Panama, Puerto Rico, Ukraine, Moldavia, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Spain, Guyana, Suriname. Maharaj is kind of sort of currently based in Kuwait, in San Antonio, Trinidad, and Alachua, Florida. So please help me welcome Maharaj, as he is known, Damodar Maharaj, to Houston.
It goes on till 7, right? At 6:50 you get the warning sign. Oh, Hare Krishna. Now the only correction was that I did teach Bhakti Shastri briefly in New York and then also a couple of other places, but mostly in Vrindavan, in VIHE. That was about 2006 to about 2008, maybe 2009, and but I'm not doing that still. It's too much work for me. It requires a certain propensity to become actually a teacher and all that's involved. But anyway, I'm glad I had the experience. I also learned a lot from doing that. Jaya Damadava Kunja Bihari Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chana Ballava Giri Vrata Hari Gopi Chana Ballava Giri Vrata Hari Yasudanandana Braja Chanaranjana Yasudanandana Braja Chanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari. I'm going to go up. Jayalanta Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayalanta Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Ballava Girivardhari Gopi Jana Ballava Girivardhari Yasudanandana Braja Chanaranjana Yasudanandana Braja Chanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. 450 of us Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Go Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Jai Nitya Lila Vishnu Vishtubhad Paramahamsa Pratipajikachara Stotara Satashi Shriman is Divine Grace Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakurti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Iskcon BBT founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Bhagavad Gita as it is Ki Jai Sankirtan Jagya Ki Jai Nitai Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Everybody has to know this one. So normally we write the verse on the board, but why be normal, right? So you all know this. How many people know the verse? Tadvidi pranipatina pariprashna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on, don't be shy. If you know it, don't worry, I won't test you. Okay, so about 50% of the people who don't. Those who don't know it, you listen, and maybe you'll start remembering it. So Bhagavad Gita, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Of course, the text I'm thinking of is 434. What happened? Oh, it's all the same. It's the same material. I don't want to trade. If you want to trade, I don't want to trade. That's why when you get to the airport, they don't have so many police looking, because very few people want to get somebody else's bag. You know, you notice that? It's pretty much self-regulating. Hare Krishna. Let's see. Did they give you any water in this place? Oh yes. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadikshanti te jnanam janinas tatpadarshinaha tadvidi pranipatena Haribo Pariprashnena sevaya Upadekshanti te jnanam Janinas tatvadarshinaha Tadvidi pranipatena Pariprashnena sevaya Upadekshanti te jnanam Janinas tatvadarshinaha. Before we go on, just a quick question. Is this class being streamed? It is? Okay, then I can't tell as many jokes as I usually do, so to be a little more formal. Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone, and we welcome everyone watching what is on Mayapur TV or some Maya TV. Very nice. Okay, anyone like to recite the verse? Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevayam upadekshanti te jnanam janinas tatvadarshinaha. No one else? Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevayam upadekshanti te jnanam janinas tatvadarshinaha. One more. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadikshanti te jnanam janinas All right, the meaning of the words tat, that knowledge of different sacrifices. That's the context there, because the different sacrifices were described, and the culmination was that sacrifice which terminates in knowledge. That's considered the best kind of sacrifice. So that's why the gloss is given like that for tat. Vidhi, try to understand. Pranipatena, by approaching a spiritual master. Pariprashnena, by submissive inquiries. Sevaya, by the rendering of service. Upadekshanti, they will initiate. Te, you. Jnanam, into knowledge. Jnanina, the self-realized. Tattva, of the truth. Darshina, seers. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Purport. The path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. The Lord therefore advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from the Lord himself. No one can be a bona fide spiritual master without following this principle of disciplic succession. The Lord is the original spiritual master, and a person in the disciplic succession can convey the message of the Lord as it is to his disciple. No one can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process, as is the fashion of the foolish pretenders. The Bhagavatam 6.3.19 says, Dharman tu shakshat bhagavat pranitam. The path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. Therefore, mental speculation or dry arguments cannot help lead one to the right path. Nor by independent study of books of knowledge can one progress in spiritual life. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master to receive the knowledge. Such a spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant without false prestige. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in spiritual life. Inquiries and submission constitute the proper combination for spiritual understanding. Unless there is submission and service, inquiries from the learned spiritual master will not be effective. One must be able to pass the test of the spiritual master, and when he sees the genuine desire of the disciple, he automatically blesses the disciple with genuine spiritual understanding. In this verse, both blind following and absurd inquiries are condemned. Not only should one hear submissively from the spiritual master, but one must also get a clear understanding from him in submission and service and inquiries. A bona fide spiritual master is by nature very kind toward the disciple. Therefore, when the student is submissive and is always ready to render service, the reciprocation of knowledge and inquiries becomes perfect. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, has opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So I'd like to make a case this evening that we need to have, well, Krishna has made the case very clearly, but to more or less reiterate that it's necessary in order to obtain real knowledge, we need to have guru. And that assumes that in human form of life, it's appropriate to want to have real knowledge. Aristotle, I believe, was the one who stated, all men by nature want to know. And was it Socrates? Someone said the unexamined life is not worth living. In other words, we want knowledge. And we're not talking about knowledge, just how to make money or fix cars or eat, sleep, mate, defend in a more fun way or convenient way or comfortable way. We're talking about knowledge that's uniquely human. Aharanidra bayamaitunam cha samanyamaitat pashubhinaranam damohite samadiko vishesho daminahina pashubhir samana. This is a very special verse for me, because although I didn't understand the Sanskrit, when I heard Srila Prabhupada explain its meaning in 1966, although I was sunk in the most, we all say I was in the darkness of ignorance, but I think I was a few steps ahead of you or below you at that time in 1966. I won't go into the details. Some of you have some idea about what I'm talking about. And when I heard this, it was like it actually penetrated all the way through all the dense coverings of ignorance. And that was my beginning. That's when I really had a wake-up call. Jiv Jago, Jiv Jago. No, the animals eat, sleep, mate, and defend. Human beings, you don't have to get bent out of shape for that. Because Prabhupada didn't use that language, but that's the essence. We have something special. Dharmo adiko, dharmo hitesham adiko visheshu. We have an adhikar. We have a special eligibility in human life. Human life has a distinct purpose, different from the animals. Dharma, self-realization, religion, spiritual life. That is the unique feature. Of course, almost all of you coming from India, for many generations, you were so fortunate to have that embedded and inherent in your culture, in your psychology, in the way you were brought up, despite the barrage from the West. Now the West is getting the barrage from the East, and we thank you for that. So anyway, it's a case that, okay, so let's accept that we do, in human form of life, we want to get a knowledge of who I am, what is the purpose of life, where did the universe come from, basic questions. If there is a God, how can I know him? What is my relationship with him? This is spiritual knowledge. So to get spiritual knowledge, I'm making the case that we need a spiritual master. And I also would like to make the case, because I don't have too many time to make too many cases, but I'd also like to make a case of cases. Let's put it. I'd like to also make the case that the ideal spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and I'd also like to make the case that Srila Prabhupada personally was very, very careful to take the position and make sure that up till the present day and way into the future, that he will perpetually be the founder Acharya of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. And it's going to be pretty difficult to change that. We may want to adjust things. We may want to, at the risk of mission drift, we may want to become more modern and more popular in different ways. But that's one thing nobody is going to tamper with. In fact, Srila Prabhupada, he got angry, transcendentally angry, when they published some books and they just said Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. They didn't say founder Acharya of International Society of Krishna Consciousness. Even on a small or medium book, that has to be there. Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya, the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. So that was important, because that means that despite the fact that he cannot become your Diksha Guru, I'm sorry, maybe some of you think he can, good luck, pleasant dreams, because the only way you'll be able to really have him as your Diksha Guru is by dreaming it. Even they say that. So I don't mean to be satirical, but that doesn't mean he can't be your Guru. He's your Shiksha Guru. In fact, he's all of our Shiksha Guru. He's the prime Shiksha Guru for everyone in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, although some other people tried to sort of co-opt or kidnap Srila Prabhupada and make him the founder of their society. But no, I'm sorry. Iskcon is the only society that Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya. Of course, he's also the BBT founder Acharya, but as far as the society is concerned, Iskcon, I'm not saying we own Srila Prabhupada, he's Jagat Guru, even devotees from other communities revere and respect Srila Prabhupada, there's no question. But there's something special about the relationship between this society, Iskcon, and Srila Prabhupada. So one say, okay, what's the big deal? Every community has its spiritual leaders, and they have a special relationship with their leaders too. Yeah, that's true. But then we get back to the speciality of Srila Prabhupada. He's unique in so many ways. And yes, members of other Vaishnava communities also sense that. So we're very, very fortunate to be in the society, and we should take more advantage of it. One of the reasons I'm suggesting this is because different members of the audience here have probably at least a dozen different reasons or more for coming here. And some may have more appreciation than others of the very, very deep value of cultivating spiritual life in the Association of Devotees in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Now that may sound sectarian. I'm sorry, but the point of it is, again, I'll repeat, that this is the only society that Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of. Yes, he tried to start the League of Devotees in 1950-something back in Jhansi in India, and you can kind of like split hairs and say, but that doesn't exist anymore. That was an attempt, a noble attempt, but it wasn't successful. But Iskcon is in many ways flourishing, and here in Houston it will flourish a lot more if more members of the community can be a little bit thoughtful, more thoughtful than perhaps they are at present, and take stock of the very, very deep value. Again, human life, we need spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge, we need guru. The ideal guru is Srila Prabhupada. And Iskcon is the society which is protected and overseen still by Srila Prabhupada. I know that may sound a little sentimental or fantastic, but as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, the Vaishnava does not die. He reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die. He lives forever in sound, and living spreads the holy name around. And Prabhupada was so powerful, how can we think that his influence, his Shakti, is going to be terminated when he physically... That's just a detail. He's here physically or not here physically. Yes, there's certainly advantage to have the Acharya physically present. It's easier to interact and connects with us. That's why he took the trouble of accepting a physical body with all its disadvantages, just so we could be with him, just so he could connect with us. Why do we need spiritual master? Because especially when we're talking about spiritual knowledge, we're reading in Bhagavatam this morning, and tomorrow is last class I'll give in this series, because I leave back to San Antonio tomorrow afternoon. But by your kindness, you're allowing me to give one more lecture on Bhagavatam, and we'll be talking about modern philosophy, because that's what the purport describes in the next text, text 6, Canto 10, Chapter 40, text 6. And there's very, very great poverty we can say, especially in modern Western philosophy. I was reading that the greatest American philosopher by his considered consensus, the greatest Western philosopher is this guy by the name of Willard Quine, Q-U-I-N-E. And so I looked, what is his philosophy? Materialism, physicalism, nothing really much happening there. Very, very shallow, with lots of fancy dotting the I's and manipulation of logic and words and concepts and all that. But at the end of the day, it's you know, old wine in new bottles, but this wine is cheap wine. I mean, it's nothing to get excited about. So we need, in the West, there is not a recognition or acceptance of Shabda. There's not a recognition of authority, spiritual authority, to live it through sound. He lives forever in sound, we're hearing. Spiritual sound, Veda, coming from Vedas. The Vedas is the breathing, and described in other ways, but it's directly related with the Supreme Lord. Krishna says, Vedaischa Savairam Veda Vedyo Vedanta Krid Veda Vid Eva Chaham. By all the Vedas am I to be known. I am the compiler of the Vedas. I am the knower of the Vedas. So the Western, what's called epistemology, only accepts pratyaksha anuman, only accepts sense perception and mental speculation. Inference could be sometimes deductive, mostly inductive logic, and just is based on, ultimately you got to start somewhere, so it's based on the input of the senses, or only on the input of the senses. And different varieties, but it's limited between those two pramans. Pramans means evidence. So Srila Jiva Goswami gave about 10 different pramans, but they can all be grouped under sense perception, mental speculation, and Shabda. Now, Shabda is the only independently valid evidence according to Vedic culture. Now, you could accept or not accept, but in Western philosophy, they do not accept. It's very, very hard. In fact, I don't think there's any Western philosopher that actually accepts Shabda. If they accept Shabda, they say, oh, that's not philosophy, that's religion. It's faith-based on some scripture. Well, maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're just a faith-based religion based on some scripture called the Vedas. Don't let them dishearten you. Because if we do limit ourselves only to mental speculation and based on sense perception, we're in animal life. We don't have any way out. Some philosophers in the West, like John Locke, has said we can't know anything beyond the exchange, the interaction between the sense objects and the senses. We can never know what the things are in themselves. And we can never know who that entity is inside that's perceiving. All we know is, in Sanskrit that's there too, it's called tanmatra, the sense impressions, and then the indriyas. So indriya and tanmatra. So Locke, in different language, he's saying the same thing, that we can only know that. But we acknowledge that there is a mysterious something out there. Actually, it's Krishna, believe it or not, Haribol. And there is a mysterious something in here that's the spirit soul, the part and parcel of Krishna, being guided by Krishna in the form of Super Soul, Chaitya Guru. And we part company with John Locke and the skeptics and all the other Western philosophers that unnecessarily limit themselves to those other pramans which are not independent by accepting Shabda. Anyet vevama jananta shrutvanebhya upashate tepi chati tarantyeva mrityum shruti parayanaha. Bhagavad Gita 13, probably 26. Krishna says, and then there are others, after describing different types of meditators who are meditating on different things. But there are others who, although they're not versed in spiritual knowledge, also attained freedom from birth and death. Shruti Padayana, they actually become liberated by hearing because of their tendency to hear from authority. So even if we're not particularly philosophical, even if we don't have time for that, but just by hearing, the whole purpose of Iskcon, the whole purpose of the International Society, well, there are 7 purposes, but the one purpose that permeates all the purposes is hearing. Satsvarup Maharaj, he comes, buys the Bhagavatams from Swamiji, 1966, and he gives $20. And there was no one to help. I was around frequently, but I was useless. No one was helping the Swami, hardly anyone. So Srila Prabhupada himself had to get up, and he had to go get the change, the $2 change. Steve Guarino became quickly Satsvarup. He very kindly, he properly, I should say, he respectfully said, no, you don't have to give me the change. And then he was about to leave. And Swamiji, Srila Prabhupada, sit down. Oh, Swamiji, I have to go. I'm just on my lunch hour. And he went out. Was Srila Prabhupada displeased? He was very happy. Why was he happy? Because here was a young man who was sane. Well, I'm exaggerating a little bit. Here was a young man who was responsible. He wasn't like the other hippie devotees that were joining. I know, not all of them, but he was special because he's showing responsibility. Srila Prabhupada knew that he'll be able to do nice service because he's responsible. Of course, Srila Prabhupada wanted him to hear Krishna too. Tat Shrinu, Shrinu me Bharatar Shabha, Shrinu me Paramam Vachaha. So many places in Bhagavad Gita. Hear from me. Vakshami Bharatar Shabha, Tadvidi Bharatar Shabha. He's telling Arjuna over and over again, now listen, hear from me. So that's Shabda. And Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jignarsur Shreya Uttamam Shadei Pare Chanishnatam Brahmanupar Shamarshayam Tadvigdanartam Gurum Eva Bikachet Shroti Panam Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So many verses are there. Of course, well, you'll say, the skeptic will say, well, you're just quoting scripture to back up scripture. I mean, where are we going with that? If we can just break out, from some of you it's not very difficult, most of you are Westerners, say, if we could just break out, and people from India, very influenced by the modern mindset, most of you go to work, technical fields, and very much, kind of is surrounded by this mood of empiricism and, materialism, etc. But if we can really fully in our hearts accept not only the necessity, but the value, the validity of accepting the real praman, which is Shabda. Mental speculation, actually in this case it would be called philosophical speculation, is certainly valid. We'll mention tomorrow. You can go to the beginning of the purport in the 14th chapter, and Srila Prabhupada says, by philosophical speculation, if one could understand this chapter, the chapter is chapter 14, the 3 modes of material nature. If one can understand it by philosophical speculation, he will gain great knowledge. I can't remember the exact wording. So philosophical speculation is different from mental speculation. If you're interested, come tomorrow morning to the Bhagavatam class. We'll discuss that a little bit. Now, maybe some people say, oh, I was going to come. Now it sounds boring. I'm not going to come. No, it's important. It's our epistemology. It's our process of knowledge. So this is basically the argument that we can't independently, Prabhupada says in the purport, just by books of knowledge, studying independently. Now that could be a little tricky. If we're reading the Bhagavad Gita as it is, with the purports by Srila Prabhupada, it's not exactly independent study. But if we just approach this Bhagavad Gita, that Bhagavad Gita, or just go directly to the text, and what to speak of Bhagavad Gita, all Vedic scriptures, if we just try to understand them, we'll become bewildered. Vedesha Durlabham. It's very rare that one can understand Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, the inconceivable opulence of the Supreme Lord, how he could expand in so many personal expansions and still be one person. And so many aspects required becoming a devotee. So many questions come up. Well, that's part of the process. How many questions did Arjuna ask Krishna? Maybe about 35 or so, if we really go through the Bhagavad Gita. I guess that would include all the argument questions in chapter 1. But that's also required. And what does Srila Prabhupada say? Both, how did he put it? Both blind following and absurd inquiries are condemned. In San Antonio, we got into a big discussion. Is blind following okay or not okay? With Ananda Kirtan, we really got into it in a program. A few people were there. We're not going to get into that issue, but in this verse, we don't want blind following. You don't just follow, and then after a few weeks, that really didn't make much sense. Or I think I'll go get a Karmi pizza, and I won't even worry about the ingredients. No, if our following is blind, then at any given point, our doubts will overtake us and will pull us away. Or if not pull us away completely, weaken our interest in participating. You have such a beautiful, beautiful temple here. It's so wonderful. But it's not only the external aspect, although in one sense it's not external. But just look at the ceiling. I mean, where do you get a ceiling like that? Just come for the ceiling. Why aren't you looking at the deities? Oh, I'm looking at the ceiling. No, I'm not saying that. I mean, the deities are more beautiful than the ceiling, but the deities are for the pleasure. The ceiling is for the pleasure of the deities, is what I mean to say. So this is such a nice thing, but I'm trying to make a case, again, for the importance of cultivating a deeper understanding why this temple is here, and why someone like myself from Brooklyn, New York, I didn't become a Hindu. Some of you who are not familiar with Iskcon or Krishna consciousness and maybe are just kind of checking it out, may think, why is he saying he didn't become a Hindu? Look, he's dressed like a Hindu. He's got these markings. The Hindus put that on, the Vaishnava sect of Hindus. I mean, didn't he become a Hindu? Well, if I became a Hindu, I became a follower of the orthodox root of what may now be called Hinduism. Yeah. You can go through all the Vedic scriptures. Alodya, how does it go? Alodya, Salva, what is it? There's a verse in 3 different Puranas that says if one very carefully studies all idam ekam sunishpanam jyayo narayanam sada, one will find that it's only Narayana that should be worshipped. And this despite the fact that as you take it piece by piece, you'll see this demigod is supreme, this demigod is supreme, this demigod is supreme. But if you really know, we don't have time in the short lifetimes of Kali Yuga. If we did actually go through all the Vedic scriptures very, very, very thoroughly, somehow if we were, I mean, I know a few devotees who are have photographic memories. There's one devotee in Alachua, he's unbelievable. A few here and there that are very, very, maybe they could almost do it. In Kali Yuga it's difficult. Then one will come to the conclusion. If he studies it again and again, what is that? Vicharyam cha punak punaha. Again and again studying, then one will come to the conclusion that it's only Narayan or Krishna who should be worshipped, should be meditated upon. So how would we know that? We don't have the ability to study all the scriptures. This is why we have to depend on Shabda, from hearing from authority. That in itself is authority. No, we can't independently studying the scriptures without it coming from disciplic succession. And the Gaudiya, we can say Sampradaya of the Vaishnava Sampradayas is very special. And we invite you to understand it more and to study. Today happens to be the appearance day of a member of Sri Sri Panchatattva, and it's the Gaudiya Vaishnavas that would respect this. It's Gadadhar Pandit. According to Kavi Khanapur's, how's that go? Ganadesh Deepika, Gaur Ganadesh Deepika, Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radharani. And in Chaitanya Leela, 550 years ago, he's serving Lord Chaitanya as Radharani would serve Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya and Gadadhar Pandit, of course, externally they were taking masculine roles. Gadadhar Pandit was sannyas, and he became Kshetra sannyas in Puri. And he was a very, very intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya. And when they were young boys, Lord Chaitanya would tease him in the school. They knew each other as schoolmates. And he was very sober and thoughtful and liked to be alone. And Lord Chaitanya, especially as Nimai Pandit, was just the opposite. He was very precocious and playful and unpredictable. And he would tease sometimes Gadadhar, later Gadadhar Pandit. And when Lord Chaitanya disappeared, by many say entering into the deity of Tota Gopinath, which is the deity that Gadadhar Pandit as Kshetra sannyasi was worshipping, that Gadadhar Pandit was 1 year younger than Lord Chaitanya. So say he was 47 years old. That's not so old. But he quickly aged, like just almost instantly. I mean, like in just weeks or months, he aged like a very old man due to the pain of separation from Lord Chaitanya. And there are different accounts of his disappearance. Shri Gadadhar Pandit ki jai, Shri Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we have time for a few inquiries or questions. I mean, there's an awful lot more that we need to fill in the gaps here, but I just wanted to try to make a case. What's the case? The case is that human life, we need spiritual knowledge. To get spiritual knowledge, we need guru. And there are so many gurus, but you won't find a better guru than Srila Prabhupada. Oh, but Srila Prabhupada has passed away, I can't get him as guru. No. He's all of our guru. He's our Shiksha Guru for everyone. And Shiksha Guru, don't think Shiksha Guru is just, just a parenthesis or some. Shiksha Guru is just as important as Diksha Guru. The only difference is Diksha Guru is taking the risk. Diksha Guru is taking the responsibility and has to accept the karma of his disciples and has the responsibility to really bring the disciple to the spiritual world. So it's a big responsibility to be Diksha Guru. Shiksha Guru also big responsibility, but it's a little different. Yes, Prabhu. What you're implying is that in the West they also accept authority, but it's not formalized. It's not consciously. But you can't avoid accepting authority. maybe one of the reasons that they don't formally accept authority is that they find, to the extent that they do accept authority and they even acknowledge that they're accepting authority, that the authorities fail them so many times. The presidential candidate, whether it's Obama, Bush, this one, that one, they promise so many things. So many things. I'm sorry if I sound unpatriotic. But then what happens after the election? What happened to that promise? What happened to this promise? You said you do this, you said you do this, and they don't. So what kind of authority is that? Just to kind of confirm what you're saying, and sympathizing with the Western skepticism, sympathizing, but not condoning it, but just sort of sympathizing how they could make that mistake. It says here in the prayers by the personified Vedas, supposed authorities, not real authorities, but supposed authorities who declare that matter is the origin of existence, that the permanent qualities of the soul can be destroyed. Remember Professor Katofsky? That the self is compounded of separate aspects of spirit and matter, like modern religions such as Catholicism believe that, or that material transactions constitute reality. All such authorities base their teachings on the mistaken ideas that hide the truth. The dualistic conception that the living entity is produced from the three modes of nature is simply a product of ignorance. Such a conception has no real basis in you. This is the personified Vedas praying to the Lord, who are transcendental to all illusion and always enjoy perfect total awareness. So that's a problem. They are disappointed. But the thing is, the system of authority is not just at random. The real system of authority is Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. And the Sampradaya is there. That is coming from a bona fide Sampradaya, and that he's not, he's theistic. He's a theist, not like Shukracharya. Well, Shukracharya believed in God, but he said you shouldn't surrender to him. So Shukracharya didn't rate as a bona fide spiritual master. And Bali Maharaj is glorious for recognizing that failure. Anyone else have anything? Yes, Gopal Rama Murthy Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, what are the consequences of not obtaining this knowledge in one's lifetime?
Well, according to the verse quoted from Brihad Aranyaka, is it? Upanishad, in the purport to chapter 9, text 12 of Bhagavad Gita, that's the Mogasa, Moga Karma, No Moga Garanti, you know. But in the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes from this other Shastra, no, I'm sorry, that's a different quote. Let's go to the second chapter, 7th verse, Karpanya Dosho Pahatasvabhava. In the purport there, Srila Prabhupada mentioning that the material world is simply a system of perplexities for everyone, not just Arjuna, for all of us. Let's admit it. And he quotes this verse that Yova itad gargi avitit dashmal lokat praiti sakripana. He quotes another one which is the opposite, but just this verse says, the one who doesn't solve the problems of life as a human being quits the body just like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. So this is what happens. One wastes his life. We have to inquire, but in Western philosophy they just speculate. They don't have any real satisfying or conclusive answer to such questions as who am I, what happens after death, all these things. Or there may be some religious doctrine that it's kind of hit and miss in Kali Yuga because it's missing Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So we have very great fortune to have access to this, so we don't have to fall into that category. We should all be thoughtful. We should be thoughtful and take advantage of this rare opportunity and this wonderful, rare opportunity to come to such a beautiful place as Iskcon of Houston. Let's see now. Yeah, we still have 5 minutes left. No, he told me I'd get cued before. It says here, 6:50. Oh, all right. So who's going to make the announcement? Whoever's going to make the announcements, get into it. Sorry, I took up some of that time. I didn't know. The next time I'll be a good boy. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Don't make me look that bad. I wouldn't do that, Maharaj, would I?
Sorry, I didn't. Next time I'll a little earlier.
I have a really bad reputation here. Somebody else. Yeah. That makes me feel better. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Maharaj. His Holiness Damodar Maharaj. You know, Maharaj, even though we stream live activities here in the temple, you can still share jokes with us. So next time when you're back in Houston, you can feel free to do so.
Thank you.
Sometimes, actually, if you use the jokes and try to explain the spirituality behind it, maybe the dumb people like me would understand it a little quicker. That's it, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Today we dedicate Kirtan in memory of Vinod Bhai Bansikar. Sankarshan Prabhu's dad passed away this week in India. We pray for the departed souls. Someone has cooked Sunday's feast. I do not have the names. Saranga Thakur Prabhu and the KD Bhakti Vriksha group. I asked him and he didn't say, and I should have known because normally he will not say that. So, thank you. Next Saturday is our holy festival here at the property that is just about 1.5 miles north. And we anticipate a lot of people to show up. It is from 11 a.m. to 4. And if you actually go online, colorhtx.com, you can get your tickets at half price. So please do that before they turn off selling the tickets online, and you will be greatly and pleasantly surprised. There is supposed to be a lot of fun activities. Apparently they have added on some yoga teachers. So the yoga teachers will be getting you all flexed up before they start the holy festival at 11 a.m. There you go. You will not be putting colors on the cows. Am I correct? The day after holy festival, our restaurant here, Govinda's, they are offering a very special menu for the Earth Day celebration. And if you visit their website and their Facebook page, you will be able to get some more information. How many of you have not yet gone to Govinda's restaurant? So everyone's been to Govinda's. You should go check it out. It's right next door. And every Wednesday and every Sundays, they serve all vegan menu items. Narsingha Chaturdashi is on Saturday, 28th April, starting at 5 p.m. with a very special yagna ceremony. Madhavi Gopi Mataji reminds me that she's still looking for volunteers. And for those of you that are on our local WhatsApp group, there is a link for you to sign up to become a volunteer. The day after Narsingha Chaturdashi is Goswami Academy's open house on Sunday April 29th, and the open house is from 1 to 4 p.m. right before our Sunday feast program. Shubha Devi Mataji is here. There's supposed to be a very wonderful program that is planned for you to learn all about Goswami Academy and what they have to offer. May 13th is our Sunday school children, students graduation ceremony at Gauranga Hall, and we will get some more information for you as they become available. Part of our Kirtan Fest, His Holiness Indradivna Maharaj and his band or his group of Kirtaniyas and devotees will be visiting, and they have an excellent program that is planned at University of Houston Cullen Hall, and it's called Viva Cultura, vivakultura.com. If you go to our Iskcon of Houston's Facebook page, there is a short video clip that is also shared on our page, and if you see it, you will be really excited to participate in this very special program. So our Kirtan Fest team is trying to work on a group package. So not only it allows you to register for our Kirtan festival here, but you can also go to this special festival that this group, Viva Cultura, will be providing and presenting here when they're here. This is going to be happening around the Labor Day holidays. So from September 1, we have our Kirtan Fest here for 4 days, which includes Janmashtami celebration. And then later on, in a couple of days after that, is this festival and the dance ceremony. It's a very nicely done, very professionally articulated performance, and it will be at the University of Houston Cullen Hall. As we have more information and more details, we'll definitely share this with you. And the tickets should be, or the registration should be available very soon. And we will share with you, hopefully by next Sunday, we should know more details on that. But I wanted to make sure that we get that information to you so you don't plan anything for the Labor Day weekend. Without any further ado, His Grace Rati Prabhu will be chanting the Kirtan. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Unless it rains, then it will be.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadate Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेषशून्यवादी